I turned 29 on a Sunday. It rained that morning. The soft kind of rain that doesn't announce itself with thunder but soaks you slowly until you feel the cold seep into your bones. I sat at the kitchen table with my lukewarm coffee. The same mug I've had since college, chipped near the handle where my thumb fits too easily now. No candles, no breakfast, no text from anyone in the house. Just the hum of the fridge and the sound of someone dragging a helium tank down the hallway. I thought maybe they'd forgotten again. I don't know why that still stings, after all these years. I used to prepare myself for the forgetting. I'd lower my expectations, convince myself I didn't care. But the body remembers what the heart tries to forget. And mine clenched the second I heard laughter from the living room. A familiar laugh. Her laugh. My sister Chloe floated in wearing blush-toned silk and glitter on her cheekbones, the kind of effortless glam that always made my mother say she had star quality. She twirled once and grinned, belly barely showing. 7 months, she'd said last week. A little early for a party, I'd muttered, and she laughed like I was joking. But this morning on my birthday, the hallway was filled with pink and blue balloons, confetti-stuffed, shimmer banners, a cake with white frosting and the words, "He or she, what will it be?" piped in delicate cursive. I stood there for too long, just watching. My name was nowhere. No card. No slice of cake with "Happy Birthday" scrawled in neon icing. Nothing. Just Chloe, center stage as always, cupping her bump while Mom fussed with the photo backdrop, her phone already live streaming on Facebook. "Smile, baby. You look radiant." Dad handed out drinks. Aunt Melissa brought out cupcakes, 24 of them, none for me. The house filled up quickly. Neighbors, cousins, even Chloe's college friends I hadn't seen in years. I waited for someone to notice. No one did. I quietly went back upstairs, closed my bedroom door, sat on the edge of my bed and stared at the wall for 10 minutes. I told myself, "Don't cry. It's not worth it." You knew they'd do something like this. But I didn't know. Not like this. Not on my birthday. The sound of laughter from downstairs echoed through the vents. Each burst, too loud, too bright, landed like a slap. I leaned my head against the cool wall and breathed through, "Ed," the way you do when a wave catches you off guard in the ocean, and for a moment, you're underwater, silent and stunned. I didn't go downstairs for the reveal. I didn't want to see the pop of the balloon or the powder, pink or blue, or the way my mother would cry as if it were a divine miracle, as if this one moment eclipsed everything else, everyone else. As if I wasn't upstairs, the forgotten daughter with the quiet birthday and the crumpled heart. This wasn't the first time Chloe took the spotlight. She was born golden, that's what everyone said. The miracle baby, who came after 2 miscarriages. My mother wrapped her in pastel blankets and dreams. I used to help rock her to sleep when I was 6. I called her Clover back then, for luck. By the time she turned 5, our parents were calling her the light of the family. By 10, she had a full shelf of dance trophies and a YouTube channel. By 16, she was on local billboards for that teen fashion brand. I remember standing at the bus stop next to her face. It felt like even the streets applauded her. Meanwhile, I learned to be small, to get good grades without bragging, to pay for my own field trips, to bake my own birthday cake. I remember my 18th, The year Chloe got a modeling contract. Everyone forgot my birthday that week. Not even a text. I didn't say anything. I just made lasagna for myself and watched reruns with a candle jammed into a cupcake I bought from the gas station. That's when it started, I think. The slow sinking. Not into anger, but into invisibility. Back in the present, I glanced at my phone. No birthday text from Mom. No message from Dad. Just a group chat photo of Chloe holding a cake knife next to a giant black balloon. My aunt captioned it, "Big moment. Watch till the end." I turned the phone face down. Then I opened my notebook. The one I never showed anyone. Pages filled with words I could never say out loud. I have trained myself to disappear. I breathe quieter when they're around. Today, they erased me completely and smiled about it. Downstairs, a cheer went up. Pink. Of course it was pink. By 7, the music had quieted. By 8, the front door slammed shut for the last time that night. I could hear Dad sweeping up confetti, humming some old song he used to sing only when he was proud of something. Of course he was. Another grandchild. A perfect day in their eyes. I waited. Not for a gift. Not even a card. Just for someone, anyone, to knock on my door and say, "We're sorry. We forgot. Happy birthday." No one came. At 8:26 p.m., I went downstairs. The house was dim except for the kitchen light. I stood in the archway for a moment, watching Chloe on the couch, her hand resting on her belly, her eyelids fluttering like she was dreaming something sweet. My mother draped a blanket over her shoulders with such tenderness, it made my throat tighten. I cleared my throat softly. No one looked up. The dining table was covered in half-eaten cupcakes, deflated balloons, and a slice of untouched cake. Not mine. The gender reveal one. I walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge. Inside, pressed against a tub of potato salad, was a single white cake box. No label, no candles. I pulled it out slowly, peeled the lid open. It was lemon, my favorite. But there was no writing on it. No happy birthday. No name. It felt like a joke, like an afterthought they forgot to throw away. I ate a slice, standing by the sink. No plate, no fork, just fingers and silence. The kind of silence that presses against your ears until they ring. And then I washed my hands, carefully, slowly, like I was erasing the evidence of ever having existed in this house today. Later, I passed by the living room again. Chloe was asleep, now. My mother saw me finally. Her eyes flicked to me and away just as fast. And then she said it. The only words I heard from her all day. "Don't make this about you." She didn't even say it angrily. Just tiredly. Like I was a burden for still standing upright in my own skin. That night, in bed, I scrolled through old photos. Me at 7, blowing out candles with both front teeth missing. Me at 13, holding a library book and a lopsided cupcake. Me at 21, no photo. I was working a double shift while Chloe had a weekend getaway in Tahoe for her stress. Me now. 29, no candles, no name, no voice in the room. But I still had a key. To the attic, to Grandma's chest, to the journals I hid when I was 17. The ones I promised myself I'd only open again when I was ready to leave. The attic door groaned like it always had. The kind of sound that made you feel like you weren't supposed to be there. But it never scared me. Not when Grandma was alive. She used to call the attic her thinking room. A soft, musky place filled with folded quilts, quiet boxes, and sun-dusted windows that never opened fully. She'd climb the narrow ladder with a mug of tea and her blue journal tucked under her arm, and I'd follow her like a shadow. Never. Invited, but never turned away. That's where I learned how to be still, how to listen, how to remember the things people don't say out loud. When she died, no one really cared about her attic. Chloe didn't even go up there. Too dusty. Mom said they'd eventually clear it out. Dad mentioned turning it into a guest nook, but I knew what she'd left me. Tucked beneath the floorboard panel, under the rocking chair, sealed in linen and ribbon, her journals and mine. And the box. The box wasn't fancy. Just dark wood, scratched at the edges. Inside it, a stack of birthday cards she wrote in advance for me, all the way until age 30. A photo of her and me in the garden, both of us laughing in mid-motion, and a tiny envelope labeled, in her handwriting, "Open when they forget." I sat on the attic floor and opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a note. "Let them forget you. But don't you ever forget who you are. You are made of the quiet things that survive fires, ash and roots and breath. You are not loud, but you are lasting. And when you leave, let it be silent. Let it be so soft they don't even hear the door close. But let it never be open again." I didn't cry. Not the messy kind. Not anymore. But something inside me loosened, like I'd been holding my breath for too many years. That night, I packed a single bag, not to leave just yet, but to begin. My journal, my grandmother's scarf, the key to my storage unit, a printed copy of the lease I'd signed 3 months ago, but never moved into, because Mom said it'd be selfish to leave while Chloe was pregnant. I remember her exact words. What kind of daughter walks away during a time like this? The kind who just had her birthday erased. The kind who sat beside a lemon cake and ate with her hands because no one offered a plate. The kind who learned to disappear, and now was learning how to walk away, too. Downstairs, the hallway light flicked on. I heard Dad talking softly. The words blurred, but the tone was clear. Everything in this house still revolved around her. Around Chloe. I opened the attic window just enough to feel the air. The night was cold and still. I closed my eyes and whispered, "Soon." I didn't leave right away. That would have felt too loud, too much like a statement. And I didn't want statements anymore. I wanted absence. Quiet. The kind they wouldn't even notice until the door had been closed for weeks. The next morning, Mom asked if I could help organize Chloe's baby shower registry. I nodded. Said nothing. She didn't say a word about yesterday. Not a single mention of the date. Of me. Of what it should have meant. Maybe she thought the lemon cake was enough. Maybe she thought I was used to being passed over by now. Chloe texted me later that night. "Thanks for being chill yesterday, you're honestly the best. Baby girl is lucky to have an aunt like you." No happy birthday. No apology. Just another request to fold myself smaller so she could shine brighter. So I started with small refusals. I logged into the shared family calendar, the one Mom insisted we all use, and quietly removed my name from every upcoming event. Baby shower, registry day, prenatal appointment pickups. I didn't delete the events. Just erased my name from the notes. Then I returned the pink gift box I bought a month ago. The one with the hand-knit socks and the custom Hello World onesie. Still in its bag, receipt tucked inside. I placed it on the store counter without a word. The cashier asked if something was wrong with it. I just said, "No, I just don't think it belongs to me anymore." Every day, I cleared a little more space. The storage unit key stayed in my pocket like a charm. I canceled my auto payments for the household Wi-Fi. I was the one covering it. No one noticed. Not at first. I wiped the family photo off my bedroom shelf, put it in a box, replaced it with one of Grandma and me, taken on the attic steps, both of us barefoot, her laughing at something I'd written. 2 weeks passed. No one said anything about the lemon cake. No one said anything about my birthday. Still, one night, I overheard Chloe on the phone with her friend. She was laughing. She's really good at not taking things personally. I think she knows. This just isn't about her anymore. She's not the main character. She said it like it was a compliment, like being erased was something noble. I didn't say anything. I just deleted her contact from my phone. Not out of anger. Just to make space. Packing didn't feel like leaving. It felt like subtracting. One drawer at a time. One photo frame removed. One memory not taken with me. I didn't bother with suitcases. Just 2 large canvas bags. One for what I needed. One for what I loved. The rest? The childhood trophies. The books Mom once said were too sad. The dresses I never got to. Wear to birthdays that never happened. Stayed behind. Dust-covered proof of someone who kept waiting to be seen. In the attic, I sat one last time in Grandma's rocking chair. The journal she gave me was in my lap, half filled with the kind of writing you only do when you don't think anyone will read it. That morning, I had copied something from her own journal. Something she wrote the winter after Grandpa died. You don't have to explain leaving to people who made it easy to go. I traced it in ink on a small card and placed it inside the empty tea tin she used to keep next to the chair, the one with the faded label and rusting rim. It was my goodbye. Not to them, but to her. To the version of myself who stayed, hoping to be chosen. I left one thing behind, a lemon-scented candle. Still wrapped. Still unlit. I placed it gently on the kitchen counter. No note. No tag. They wouldn't understand. But I didn't need them to. The night I left, no one noticed. Mom was upstairs with Chloe, repainting the nursery wall to a softer pink. Dad was out with the guys, probably showing off ultrasound photos. No one asked where I was going. No one asked if I was okay. I didn't slam the door. Didn't send a message. Didn't leave a trail. I just stepped outside and let the cool air hit my lungs like the first breath in weeks. Not freedom, not yet, but something close. As I crossed the street to my car, I heard it, faint and unexpected. A voice, small. "Are you leaving?" I turned. It was Eli, the neighbor's kid, 7 years old, still in his pajamas, holding his toy dinosaur like it was a secret. I paused. He looked at me the way kids do when they sense something big, something important. I knelt down, eye level with him. "Yeah, I think I am." "Are you coming back?" "I don't think so." "Are you sad?" "A little." He didn't say anything for a second. Then he stepped forward and hugged me around the waist, quick and tight. The kind of hug that isn't dramatic, just honest. "You're my favorite," he whispered. Swallowed hard, managed to smile. You're mine too. As I drove away, the house stayed dark in the rearview mirror. No porch light, no open window. It didn't wave, and I didn't look back. My new apartment smelled like new paint and borrowed air. The walls were bare, the windows too clean, and the floors echoed when I walked. But it didn't feel lonely. Not yet. It felt like something waiting to be filled. I slept on a mattress on the floor. No frame, no art. Just me, a single lamp, and the soft hum of the city outside the window. And for the first time in years, no footsteps above me, no laughter that didn't include me, no whispered conversations that bent around my silence. It was quiet, but it was mine. On the third day, I went to the market down the street and bought a cake. Lemon again. This one had my name on it. I asked the baker to write it carefully in gold icing. I watched her do it. Watched every flick of her wrist, every curve of the letter. She smiled when she handed it over and said, "Happy birthday," by the way. It took everything in me not to cry right there in the shop. Not because she knew me, but because she didn't, and she still saw me. Back home, I made tea. Set the cake on a plate this time. Lit a single candle. No one sang. No one clapped. There were no photos, no live streams, no curated captions. But there was me. And a flame. And a moment that felt whole. I whispered, "Happy birthday" to myself. And I meant it. Later that night, I opened my journal again. The one from the attic. The one with Grandma's handwriting pressed into the inside cover like a fossil. I wrote, "They didn't forget me. They never saw me to begin with, but I see me now, and I will not hand that sight over again." I still hadn't blocked their numbers, but I didn't answer the texts either. They trickled in slowly, not out of concern, just confusion. "Are you staying somewhere else? You could have at least told us." "Chloe's been crying. Are you really going to do this now?" I read them once, then deleted them. They wanted explanation. They wanted guilt. What they didn't realize was that silence could be an answer too. It's been 4 months. The days feel different now. Not because they're louder, but because I'm not waiting to be noticed in them. That waiting used to live in my bones. In the way I walked. In the way I kept checking my phone. In the way I said, "It's okay," when it never really was. Now I water my plants in the morning. Sometimes I play the same album Grandma used to hum to. And sometimes I light the lemon-scented candle I left behind the first night I moved in. I never lit the one I left at home. That one wasn't meant for warmth. It was a marker. A quiet goodbye they wouldn't recognize. They sent me a photo last week. Chloe and the baby, wrapped in matching pink, smiling, framed in a nursery that used to be my room. No message, just the image. I didn't respond. Not because I was angry anymore, but because I didn't owe them my presence. Not in the comments. Not in congratulations. Not after everything they took without ever asking if I had enough to give. I wrote a letter a month ago. Never sent it. I think I needed to write it more than they needed to read it. You didn't forget my birthday. You chose not to make space. For me. You filled the room with balloons and noise and cameras, and called it love. But I have learned that love does not require silence from one to celebrate the other. I didn't leave to punish you. I left because I finally believed I deserved to be somewhere I wasn't a shadow. Today is just another day. Not an anniversary. Not a milestone. Just Wednesday. And still, I bought myself sunflowers. Not because anyone would see, but because they look like how I feel. Tall, steady, and still reaching toward the light. Sometimes I wonder if they talk about me, if they call it a phase, if they think I'll come back. But I won't. Not because I hate them, but because I finally love myself enough to stay gone. I deleted the group chat this morning. Not in anger. Just in peace. That's the thing about quiet revenge. You don't have to slam the door. You just have to stop holding it open and let the wind close it for you.